What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Vince McMahon will be chairman until he passes away, a change of plans for WWE superstars, Vince McMahon's lawsuit has been settled, good news for a WWE star, Mandy Rose talks possible WWE return, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. And now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at Vince McMahon, WWE chairman, until he passes away. Atop of today's news is a report that indicates Vince McMahon could remain in his position as WWE executive chairman until he graduates to that big squared circle in the sky. Wrestlenomics discussed the negotiations between Endeavor and the WWE for their merger, including a clause that states, Endeavor's legal advisor Lantham gave WWE a revised term sheet proposing Vince as executive chair until death, resignation, or incapacity as a condition of giving WWE 49-51 increased valuation. Vince will also get 5 of 11 board seats and certain veto rights. According to Wrestlenomics, there was talk that Endeavor would get 57% ownership at WWE and WWE would hold 43%. However, that changed after more negotiations. Indeed, according to the filing, Endeavor was willing to concede to giving WWE shareholders a greater portion of the value of a merged company, 49 rather than 43%, only on the condition that Vince McMahon remained with the company as executive chair. You may recall Endeavor executive Ari Emanuel stating on 3rd April that he wanted Vince to remain in WWE. This news may have something to do with our next story as a change of plans for WWE superstars. Potentially big news is a report on several storylines for various superstars. Apparently, there have been various changes to booking plans made for several WWE superstars. WrestleVotes is reporting, interesting tidbit, sources say a number of creative decisions and ideas planned prior to WrestleMania have not gone the way some envisioned. Not to say for better or worse, but the direction for some superstars is far different than what had been internally discussed. Promotions can change up plans for many reasons, including wrestlers being sidelined due to injury or other unexpected circumstance, a promoter punishing a wrestler for an infraction, or a perception that a storyline isn't working. Unfortunately, WrestleVotes did not mention any names. However, there's also the possibility that these changes have been made due to Vince McMahon's return to WWE. We'd talked that Vinnie Mac has become more involved in creative since the announcement of the merger between WWE and Endeavor. McMahon may have suggested that WWE go in a different direction with certain talents. Next up, Bray Wyatt's name is not currently on WWE's roster. Now, Bray Wyatt has been away from television since February, as there were reports of him having an undisclosed physical issue. This led to WWE cancelling any plans of him wrestling Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 39. But now PW Insider Elite have provided an update on Bray Wyatt, and it doesn't sound to be a good one. According to PW Insider Elite, Bray Wyatt is currently not listed in any fashion internally on the WWE roster, PW Insider Elite has confirmed. Now this could be due to the draft, as he is a free agent, but aren't wrestlers like Dolph Ziggler and Omos who are free agents on the roster too? Not to mention, of course, the biggest being Brock Lesnar. What do you guys make of this? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE Hall of Famer Billy Graham on life support. Now, awful news, as wrestling icon superstar Billy Graham is currently on life support. His wife took to Facebook to state, "Please urgent prayers needed for my husband. The doctors wanted to remove him from life support tonight. I refused. He's a fighter and his will is strong even if his body isn't. God is our hope." Graham is in the Mayo Clinic ICU and dealing with a list of health issues including an infection in his ears and skull and congestive heart failure. A GoFundMe has been set up, and it writes, "Friends, Wayne has had a very rough run lately. He coded, but God decided that it was not his time to go and brought him back to us. He is going on over 3 weeks in the Mayo Hospital ICU, checked into a rehab center, is now back at the Mayo. He is dealing with a myriad of various serious health issues, a major infection in his ears and skull that may take 6 months of intravenous IVs, congestive heart failure, diabetes, hearing loss as a result of the infection, and the list goes on. He is facing a long period of rehab and his insurance will only pay a portion of this. He is facing at least 2 months in a skilled nursing facility once he is stabilized and released from the Mayo Hospital. Wayne has lost 45 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Our thoughts are with Graham's family, friends and fans. Next up, Triple H absent from Smackdown. Did you guys notice anything different about 12th May edition of Smackdown? If so, it could have to do with Triple H not being there. Ringside News is reporting WWE Smackdown was a good show this week, but they were missing a huge piece of the puzzle. We are told that Triple H wasn't backstage at all this week. He had to miss the show, which is very rare for him. The report added that the game was absent due to a corporate commitment. Do you guys think anything was missing from Friday's show besides the cerebral assassin? Next up, Vince McMahon's lawsuit settled. A lawsuit filed against Vince McMahon has been settled. WrestleZone's Colby Applegate is reporting after McMahon returned to WWE's board of directors and was voted in as executive chairman in January, he and the company were faced with a lawsuit by WWE shareholders who cited a breach of fiduciary duty as it related to his return and a change to the company's bylaws. Vince's shocking return to power last year was followed by his amending the WWE's bylaws in an action that was described as restricting the WWE board of directors' powers. This then led to the aforementioned lawsuit. The lawsuit was settled after McMahon repealed bylaws. Apparently, the only issue at that point was paying the plaintiff's attorneys. The news came in after a Securities and Exchange Commission filing revealed, in lieu of an application for attorneys' fees and expenses after engaging in arm's-length negotiations, McMahon agreed to make a payment to plaintiff's counsel in the amount of $1,650,000 in attorneys' fees, inclusive of expenses. The court has not been asked to review and will pass no judgment on the payment of a fee or its reasonableness. This story seems like the latest instance of Mr. McMahon doing whatever he wants to do to achieve his goals, then throwing out money to make any problem or potential problems disappear. Next up, good news for a WWE star. Fans of Johnny Gargano will be happy to know that Gargano is now cleared to compete. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury for some time and it reportedly flared up again, knocking him out of action. Well, that no longer seems to be the case, as Ringside News is reporting Johnny Gargano has been cleared for in-ring competition as he challenged Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at the WWE House Show in Augusta, Georgia. Things are looking up for Gargano as the WWE reunited most of the members of Johnny Wrestling's NXT faction the way last week on Raw. That may only be the beginning based on our next story though. As next up, a spoiler on a big match on Raw. There's speculation on a big match booked for tonight's Raw, so if you're averse to spoilers, move on to our next story. Now, the 15th May edition of Raw is set to feature a battle royal to determine Intercontinental Champion Gunther's next opponent. Felix Upton of Ringside News explained that while the match's participants haven't been named, the WWE may have hinted who Gunther's next challenger will be on TV. Although nothing can be guaranteed, there is speculation that WWE booked the house show match to allow Gunther and Gargano to work together before a possible encounter on television. This puts Johnny Gargano as a favourite to become the new #1 contender for Gunther's title. Next up, WWE lists SmackDown's top heels and babyfaces. There's interesting news coming from PW Insider concerning the WWE's roster rankings for the women of SmackDown. The site's premium content states that an internal depth chart has the show's babyfaces and heels ranked as follows. Babyfaces, #1 being Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, Zelina Vega, Mia Yim, and Aaliyah. And for the heels, the #1 top heel is Asuka, Bayley, Lacey Evans, Scarlett, B-Fab, and Tamina. Scarlett and B-Fab have a limited exposure in the ring, which invites speculation whether they'll be working more matches on TV or perhaps doing so at live events. There's also the question of whether this list means that some of the Blue Brand's missing in action superstars will be back. Next up, Matt Jackson back from an injury sooner than expected. That's good news for Matt Jackson as he recovered sooner than expected from his recent injury. Meltzer noted in the latest Wrestling Observer that Matt Jackson's recovery from a partial torn bicep has obviously gone quicker than expected with all the stuff he's done on TV. He was actually cleared this week, a few weeks ahead of schedule, and was bumping and running the ropes in the ring before the 10th May show and has done resistance training for a few weeks. AEW should be happy with this news as it has some major shows coming up including Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door and All In, shows it'll be eager to book the Young Bucks on. Next up, a popular AEW star's surprise exit from the company. A longtime AEW star Leva Bates is no longer with the company, a surprise to many in the company and apparently even more of a surprise to her. AEW failed to renew her contract and based on several reports, failed to notify her. An email went out notifying that they were not renewing the deal with Fightful Select, reporting Bates was said to have found out when people contacted her to check on her. The Fightful report added that Leva hadn't had a chance to talk with AEW about working a new deal. In addition to competing as a wrestler, she worked backstage in AEW in several roles, with Wrestling News noting she had an office role, helped with public relations, ran the makeup and wardrobe departments, and co-running the interactive Heels Club. She debuted in AEW at its 2019 Fyter Fest event. and she was popular backstage, with Meltzer remarking there were a number of people sad with this news as she was very well liked. Now, it doesn't sound like this departure was handled very well judging from these reports, but nevertheless, Bates was classy about her exit, tweeting, "As of today, my contract with AEW has expired. The last 4 years have been quite a ride. I've learned so much and grown exponentially. I've seen wrestling history take place as someone who was on a team since before the first show. I appreciate and love all the crew, staff, and talent. I will cherish all our memories together. I've given my time, my focus, and my effort to the company, but now I've got to focus on myself, my future, and my career. I hope you all, my friends, fans, and loved ones, stay with me through this next chapter of my journey. I hope to make you all proud no matter where I go." She also discussed her departure during a Twitch stream. "When I got out of the dentist, I was going to do a work call, was going to get done with the work call around for vets, for my pet, and then take him. I got out of the dentist and realized I didn't have a job, so that changed some plans. I had to figure out a lot of things very quickly, I had to have a lot of conversations." She let fans know she already has some indie bookings and is talking with a voiceover agent. What do you guys think of the way AEW handled Bates' exit? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, Mandy Rose talks possible WWE return. And last but not least, is the former NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose open to a WWE return? Rose, whose move to the black and yellow brand reinvigorated her career, was released last year in the midst of an extended run as NXT Women's Champion. It's believed they canned her due to the adult content she posted on her FanTime account. Wrestling's Golden Goddess was asked via Instagram about a possible return to WWE, with Rose responding, I don't know what the future holds, so..." As Wrestling News reminded readers, the same month she left WWE, she earned $1 million from her FanTime page after departing from WWE and has seemingly done well since then. It sounds like it may not be worth Rose's time to return to WWE unless the promotion lets her continue producing her private content. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.